Okay, today is Vetterli ammo testing day. And what I'm doing is I'm clearing off this batch here is cases that were cut too short. I'm going to see if I can salvage them and get something to operate in this gun. Now, with any Vetterli, working the action smartly is critical. That seemed to work well. And they do shoot high with my load and this bullet, and this thing don't want to fit in the damn rest right. Well, it looks like I can salvage these fuckers. We're shooting at 50 yards, like I said. What I'm trying to do is clear up a bunch of stuff and get some stuff straight. Alright, so those seem to have worked. Alright. Got rid of that stuff. So even if the brass is a little short, maybe I can salvage these. Alright, let's move on to the next. Okay, that was pretty strange. At 50 yards, aiming low, didn't look that bad. So, it's not shooting that high. What I'm going to do is tape this up. I'm going to fire a couple rounds, and what I'll do is aim down here and see where, or actually, I'm going to aim at the dot. See how high we shoot. That way, just to give you an idea. But it looks like my load is grouping pretty good. I had a couple more test cartridges, and then we're just going to burn up a bunch of stuff here. Alright, now I got two cases here that I just made up. And what I'm doing is in the old ways of doing it, you just trim it, kind of give it a shape, and then fire form it without a bullet. And then resize, trim it, and make the case. Because of the primer shortage and everything else, these cases must be formed with expanding dies, which is tricky business, and annealed, expanded out, back, trimmed 2 or 3 times to get it right. But when fired, does it, and this is going to be fire forming, I want to see if the case is longer or whatever, what I end up with after firing it once, resizing it. See, a lot of these companies, they charge you 80 bucks for 20 pieces of brass. And yeah, you could take that old West bullet mold because it's healed, and all you got to do, and whoever designed that bullet mold, if you use 8mm Lebel brass, and you go 38 millimeters in length, which, okay, if you push it down, that heel will sit and give you the overall length of 2 inches 200 thousandths, which will function perfectly in this gun using the magazine. I want to know, I got to see how much the brass changes after firing and what you end up with after resizing it. So this is what this experiment is into. I'm going to see a 6 o'clock hold on this, what the hell I end up with. Okay, so we got everything functioning just fine. Okay, so a 6 o'clock hold on the dot, and that's your distance there. About 6 inches high at 50 yards. Okay, I'm going to go and shoot up some more of this ammo. Okay, got a different rifle here. I haven't really shot this one that much. It was one of my later acquisitions. I have parted with guns. And at one point in time, I made the mistake of offering people like a class on how to reload this cartridge. Okay? And 6 months of my life went. And really, I showed these people every step in detail I took to get there. And what's confusing about this cartridge, all right, if you take the 8mm Lebel, you have to fire form it or expand it out to almost a straight wall, then reshape it down. If you go with the 50 Alaskan, all you got to do is anneal it, trim it, and basically run it up the die, and you got the cartridge. But here's the problem. The 50 Alaskan, like these cartridges here, the base is 5 thousandths too big. You have to turn it on a lathe. And there were people that went out and read on a forum and bought it, and now the stuff doesn't fit in their guns, and I had to go turn it on a lathe for hours and hours. Lost about 20 cartridges in the process, which those things are $1.50 a piece. And now another thing, going over cost. Time, effort, and energy involved to do this, okay? And if you don't believe that $90 for 20 rounds is reasonable, then, you know, you're looking in the wrong friggin' place, okay? Also, every single component, even after this crisis ends, everything has gone up by about 15%. So in other words, when I get PPU Lebel brass, it used to be 75 cents or so, with shipping come out to be about 95 cents, and tax now, you get tax. So when I received it, about 90 cents a case. Retail on it is now 96 cents a case. So that means shipping, tax, and everything is going to be over $1 for the parent case to start with. I don't even know what 50 Alaskan is going to be, but it's going to be more. It's well over $1. So these have been turned, and I'm going to see how they work. So basically what I'm telling you guys is in the future I'm not going through this stuff again, because everybody wants just to go, get the basic information, and run right ahead and make ammo right now. Okay? And it don't work. Because this 50 Alaskan, it does fit in some of my guns, unmodified. It does not fit in an awful lot of guns, and Buffalo Arms was offering brass made on the 50 Alaskan. So this is what creates confusion, mayhem, and problems. And after I pop off some of these, I will go and we'll discuss the difference between the 38mm long case and the 42mm long case. Yeah, a little stiff, but these, well, these are turned, so. Now this is going to be problematic. Yeah, they don't want to come out. So I got screwed on that one. That's probably one of the ones that had the rough turn on it. So that's why 50 Alaskan ain't the way to go. Okay guys, so moral of the story. 50 Alaskan brass, even though, okay, it has been turned and should work, it got stuck in that gun. I got the case out, there's nothing wrong with it. So if you want to save yourself a lot of headaches, avoid using the 50 Alaskan brass, which all of this is. I made up a bunch of it. This particular rifle, the chamber's a bit looser. So what I'm going to do is just try to fire some of this off and see if I can get it to run in this weapon without any problems. These rims are not quite correct. So you gotta operate the weapon sharply to get it to fling either or, 50 Alaskan or the label out. So bear that in mind before you start saying, ammo don't work. It's not quite 100%. I gotta get some shoulder behind this. Yeah, see that one slipped off. So yeah, 50 Alaskan, it may or may not work, but as you see, it's problematic. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these cases, but I strongly advise not to use that as a parent case. Alright, let's go see what we did. Okay, aiming down here at the bottom, we shot up fairly high, 50 yards, one flyer, but that ammunition groups well. Okay, the load I got in that's pretty accurate. Okay, so that's the way to go. I'm going to put up a fresh target and I'm going to run some label through that other gun and see how it goes. Okay, now we're back to this other older gun, and I do have some rounds made on what I got. So like I said, I have not fired this gun much, so I want to get some rounds down range and see what it does. Seems the range is going to become crowded now. Yep, 930. As you see, problem free. We'll run the other 3 in there. Little magazine obstruction here. Let's see what we got going on. I don't know, it seemed the magazine caught. But, alright, as you see, using this with the Lavelle brass, no problem. I don't know, this one got some issues with the magazine. Have to take that apart, check it out. Seems like the bullet catches when it goes in for some odd reason. Alright, we're going to see what it did, and then we'll discuss 42 millimeter long ammo. And I got 5 cartridges here. I might see if it pops out of this. Okay, I kind of screwed up, double stacked the papers. Can't see that well, so I was aiming down here. And as you see, a little to the left, and again, about 6 inches high. But good group. I've never really fired that gun before. Alright, I'm going to tape these up and we'll discuss 42 mils and see if I can pop them 5 rounds out of this gun. Okay, while I got everybody's attention, we're going to talk about the 2 different cartridges. A little confusion. 38 millimeter and the 42 millimeter length in case. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, the one thing you got to remember, the overall length must be 2 inches, 200 thousandths long, no matter how long the case is. Now the problem a lot of people have is doing a little short 38 millimeter, unless you use like a heeled bullet or something, and you don't have the length. The one on the left is a custom-made bullet mold I had made, and it was the first one I developed for the first gun I had, and it worked quite well. Now, what happened is everyone wants in. Everybody demands reloading material and make a video right now so I can go out and load this damn cartridge. And I sent hundreds of these bullets out. And everyone has a problem. They're not fitting in their gun. Then, in the middle of all this, I said, fire forming this 8mm Lavelle is a pain in the ass. If I could take 50 Alaskan, which Buffalo Arms is selling them, I'll just neck down 50 Alaskan and be ready to go. 50 Alaskan is problematic, so skip the 50 Alaskan. If you want to go with a 42 millimeter length case, because many people use some sort of precast off-the-shelf 44 caliber bullet. That is why the interest in the 42 millimeter length. I got caught in the middle of this. 50 Alaskan in the 42 millimeter will not work. Tell it it's too thick. So if you take the Lavelle and make it to 42 mil, which the same set of dies, you ain't got to change the dies, it'll work in the Lee dies. You just got to come up with a bullet. And before everyone starts asking me, well, I want to do it, I want to try it, no. Figure it out for yourself. Okay, it took me 6 months to figure out how I wanted that bullet cut, making measurements and everything. And I don't know, I haven't loaded it, I don't know if I'll load anymore. But for those of you that ask, if you stick with the 8mm Lavelle, because I believe the problem we had and all this confusion, and when I had 5 people demanding all this stuff, immediately right now send it to me, okay? If you use the 8mm label brass, it may fit in your gun. So we're going to try the 5 rounds I got in this gun and see how it goes. Okay, now going back after making that speech, I kind of remember, even with the label brass, see, this is where I'm confused because there's so much going on. This thing would not fit in all guns. I thought maybe because the older ones, the chamber was different. So what we're going to do, we're going to see if we can get this to function through this weapon. And yes, there is something sticking in the magazine. Okay, chambers. Also, I'm going to aim right at the bottom of that dock so if it goes high. Yeah, I think there's something loose in the magazine. Could be some debris down in there. So far, so good. But I think this one would chamber the longer. When I did the test, this one would take the longer case. So it may be a matter of your chamber too. Okay. So that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. Oh, I got 2 more left, or one more. Okay. So let's see what we did. Probably wrap this all up. Well, didn't expect that. Out of that gun, I know in the 81 it shoots high. But in that one, it's right on the money. Got 2 in the black, these other 3 here. So again, you cannot tell. You have to experiment. The message I'm trying to send you is take the basic advice, learn something, know what you're doing, and experiment yourself and find out what works in your gun better. Okay? And yeah, that longer case will not, I think I remember I took those 5 cartridges, they will not fit in some guns. Alright, so that's Vetterli update, range session, and trying it all out. I'm going to wrap this one up. Stay tuned.